Okay, this is your regular biology cells test. I'm giving you a break. I know it's a long test, so I'm knocking off one of your choices for each of the multiple choice answers. Okay, so you can thank me later. Number 1, which of the following is not true about membranes? Is it that folded membranes increase surface area for efficiency? Folded membranes do not form compartments in the cell? Or ribosomes are sometimes attached to folded membranes, which is not true. Number 2, if a cell contains a nucleus, it must be a eukaryotic cell, an animal cell, or a prokaryotic cell. It contains a nucleus. Number 3, because cells have a watery environment both inside and outside, the polar ends of the phospholipids in the plasma membrane form how many layers? Is it several, double, or single? And remember, we drew this in your Nearpod notes, and it looks something like this. Number 4, water moves into a cell when it's placed in a what kind of solution? Is it hypertonic, hypotonic, or isotonic? Think about what would happen to the cell if the water moves in. Number 5, which of the following is not a form of passive transport? Remember, that takes no energy. Passive. Is it endocytosis, diffusion, or osmosis, which is not passive? Number 6, folded membranes are an advantage to a cell because the cell processes can be more efficient. The membranes provide a large surface area. Membranes form an interconnected compartment, or D, all of these. We said that your mitochondria had folded membranes and your endoplasmic reticulum around your nucleus. Number 7, a plasma membrane is made up of, these are the membranes that surround the cell. Is it an enzyme bilayer, a lipid bilayer, or a protein layer? Number 8, what do electron microscopes use to focus and magnify an image? Is it a glass lens, an electromagnet, or a light? Number 9, which of the following is a main idea of the cell theory except, so you're looking for the one that does not fit the cell theory facts. That all organisms are composed of cells, that the cell is the basic unit of organization of all organisms, that all cells are similar in structure and function, and that all cells come from pre-existing cells. So you're looking for the one that is not part of the cell theory. Number 10, if a cell is placed in salt water, water leaves the cell by what process? Is it osmosis, active transport, or phagocytosis? Number 11, water moves out of a cell if it's placed in what kind of solution? Hypertonic, isotonic, or hypotonic? Think about what would want to move out of the cell. Number 12, who concluded that all plants, not animals, that all plants were made of living cells? Was that Virchow, Schwann, or Schleiden? Number 13, a cell moves particles from a region of lesser concentration to a region of greater concentration by what? So we're going up the hill, okay? We've got to push it into an opposite direction. Is that facilitated diffusion, passive transport, or active transport? Number 14, the structure most responsible for maintaining cell homeostasis is the cytoplasm, the cell wall or the plasma membrane. Another word for that is the cell membrane. Number 15. If it is not watered, a tulip plant wilts because it increases active transport, increases turgor pressure, or loses turgor pressure. Number 16. The scientist who first discovered living cells as seen through a simple microscope. Is that Schleiden, Hooke, or Schwann? And you know what? Let's do compound microscope. Number 17. All living things are made up of cells, cork, or wastes. Number 18. If plants are placed in a strong sugar solution, water will do what? So here's our solution. It's got a lot of solute, lots of sugar, not a lot in the plant. What is the water going to do? Is it going to pass from the cells to the sugar solution, stay in the cell, or pass back and forth? Number 19. A cell's content would be the same as its surrounding if it were not for what? The plasmolysis, selective permeability, or phagocytosis. Which of the following organisms do not have cell walls? Is that a plant, a fungi, or an animal cell? All right, I'm going to put and freeze up on the whiteboard a list of words that you guys can use for this. An organism that lacks a true nucleus. What is that? Does not have a nucleus. Number 22. Cell structures that contain digestive enzymes. Number 23. The functions of the eukaryotic cell are managed by what? 24. The folded system of membranes that forms a network of interconnected compartments inside the cell is called the what? 25. The small membrane-bound structures found inside a cell are called. Number 26. In a cell, the tangles of long strands of DNA form the. 27. In plants, the structures that transform light energy into chemical energy. What are those organelles called? Only found in plants. 28. The pigment that gives plants the green color is called. 29. Short hair-like projections used for locomotion. Those are called. Number 30. In a cell, the breakdown of molecules in order to release energy occurs in what? They release energy. Powerhouse. 31. The structure outside the plasma membrane in some cells. And this is going to be in plant cells. 32. A network of tiny rods and filaments that forms a framework for the cell is called. 33. The movement of materials into and out of the cell is controlled by the. 34. In a cell, the sites for protein synthesis. Where are proteins made in the cell? Okay, short answer. This pertains to this graph right here. So in this graph, these, the black, are outside the cell. And we're going to call this lighter color white. And those are inside the cell. Okay, so just to give you a key, because I know it says white and it doesn't really look white. So it says the figure 8.2 shows typical concentrations of several ions inside and outside an animal cell. Concentrations on inside are shown in white. Remember, that's this one. Concentrations outside are shown in black. That's that one. Which ions are the greatest? Concentrations outside of the animal cell. Okay. Which ones are higher on the outside? Again, pertaining to figure 8.2, which ions are the lowest concentrations inside the animal cell? Again, pertaining to that figure 8.2, what is the approximate concentration of magnesium 2 ions inside the cell? So you're looking at magnesium 2 and inside the cell. And the last question, again pertaining to this graph, compared to its surroundings, does an animal cell contain a higher or lower concentration of potassium ions? Okay, so you're comparing the inside to the outside. Is the inside higher or lower concentration than the outside of potassium, those K+ ions? Okay. Alright, we're going to stop this session here because I think I'm going to run out of time. And we'll pick it up again with the next session.